Welcome to Fun Facts Online, where we unpack the science behind your world. Today, we're talking about something you use every single second, but probably don't think about much: energy. And more specifically, why our brains are so weird when it comes to using it. You get that electricity bill and think, how did it get so high? Well, it turns out the answer has less to do with economics and more to do with psychology. Let's dive into the invisible hand of the mind that shapes our energy choices. For decades, economists had a simple theory. If you want people to use less energy, just make it more expensive. Simple, right? They assumed we are all perfectly rational actors, constantly making cost-benefit analyses. But if that were true, we'd all be driving the most fuel-efficient cars and have the most energy-saving appliances. The reality is, we don't. There's a huge energy efficiency gap where people pass up on investments that would save them a ton of money in the long run. Why? Because our brains aren't calculators. They're full of glitches, biases, and shortcuts. Behavioral economics shows us what's really going on. First up is something called present bias. Our brains are hardwired to want rewards now, not later. That $2,000 price tag on a new, super-efficient heating system feels very real and painful today. The promise of saving $20 a month for the next 10 years feels distant and abstract. So we procrastinate, sticking with the old energy guzzler because the immediate pain of the upgrade outweighs the fuzzy future gain. Then there's loss aversion. Psychologically, the pain of losing something is about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the exact same thing. So when you think about buying that new appliance, you're not focusing on the future gain of lower bills. You're focusing on the immediate loss of the money from your bank account. That fear of loss makes us hesitant, even when the math is clearly on our side. And let's not forget the availability heuristic. We overestimate the importance of things that are easy to remember. We might obsess over unplugging our phone chargers, which use a tiny amount of power, because we see and touch them every day. Meanwhile, the real energy vampire, the heating and cooling system hidden away in a closet, barely gets a thought because it's out of sight, out of mind. Finally, there's the simple status quo bias. We just prefer to keep things the way they are. The effort of researching a new energy provider or installing a new smart thermostat seems like a huge hassle, so we stick with what we know, even if it's costing us. So if raising prices doesn't fully work, and our brains are actively working against us, what's the solution? This is where a policy revolution is taking place, using nudges. These are subtle interventions that guide us toward better choices without forcing us. And one of the most successful nudges harnesses the power of social pressure. A company called O-Power started sending out home energy reports that did something genius. They showed people how their energy use compared to their neighbors. Nobody wants to be the wasteful one on the block. Just seeing a simple bar graph showing you're using more electricity than your efficient neighbors has been proven to cut energy use by 1 to 3% on average. It works because we have an innate desire to fit in. Another brilliant nudge is changing the default option. Many green energy programs have seen massive increases in adoption by simply making renewable energy the default choice when you sign up for a utility. You can still opt out and choose fossil fuels, but most people don't. The power of inertia is huge. We stick with the default. It's a simple change to the choice architecture that has a profound impact. But these nudges aren't a perfect solution. There are challenges and ethical questions. For one, does the change last? If you stop sending those energy reports, people often slowly drift back to their old habits. This makes some people question their long-term value. And the big ethical question, is this manipulative? Are policymakers tricking us into certain behaviors, even if they are for our own good? To be ethical, these nudges have to be transparent, and we must always have the freedom to choose otherwise. The future of energy policy isn't just about building better solar panels or wind turbines. It's about integrating those technologies with a deeper understanding of human psychology, We can expect more personalized nudges delivered through smart meters and AI, giving us real-time feedback tailored to our specific lives. The key to a sustainable future might not be in a massive technological leap, but in finally understanding the quirky, irrational, and fascinating human brain. By designing policies that work with our natural tendencies, not against them, we can be nudged, one choice at a time, into a smarter, cleaner energy future.